Last week's big PetSmart buyout sparked optimism on Wall Street that the big LBO could be back. I'm John Marino for TheStreet, and I'm joined by Paula Schaap, who's the senior editor at The Deal. Paula, thanks for joining us. I'm curious, do you think the big buyout is back?
Well, I think they're not back in the same way that club deals were done in the good old days, like the famous TXU, which turned into a very big bankruptcy, as you know, John. I think you know a great deal about that deal. But we're seeing something interesting here. From my perspective, what we're seeing is a different type of a club deal, a different type of a grouping up against companies. For example, PetSmart, that was an interesting thing done by an activist. JANA Partners kind of egged that deal on, so that was the kind of grouping that I think we're going to see more of. I think you know some more about those deals too, right?
Yeah, so one of the things that I like to look at is the premium that was paid was actually much greater than when JANA Partners got in than when the deal was actually announced, but it was at a tiny premium, and I think PE is going to continue to only pay small premiums for deals. That's probably going to lock them, actually, in my mind, out of a lot of auctions.
Well, but, on the other hand, we still see them coming into things like, Riverbed Technology. Again, activist, that was Elliott Management, kind of pushed that deal through. Thoma Bravo came in, and that was at a fairly decent premium for a company that was really struggling at some point. So I think we're going to see some more of that. But then there's also the middle market to be concerned about, right? How are those deals looking from a PE perspective?
So I think that's a good point, actually. Middle market activity has kind of taken over in 2014 for PE in ways that it never has before, and that's one of the reasons that I think that we're not going to be seeing as much of a return to big buyouts. The other factor that's really important to take note of, since the financial crisis, so many LBO shops just keep adding to their assets under management, but no one's still doing that big LBO. I still haven't seen the $10 billion deal, so it may not happen.
Well, what do you think about the Valiant deal, for example? The Valiant Pershing Square, again, like not quite an LBO deal in the technical sense of the world, but a very big buyout. Eventually, Allergan went to, of course, Valiant and Pershing Square teamed up to go after Allergan. Eventually, Octavius came in. $66 billion deal, still a lot for deal makers.
No, that's an excellent point. That's it for us this morning. We're going to keep looking for these big major LBO transactions in the future with or without PE, but it looks like it's going to have more activist investors in the loop. I'm John Marino.